Hi, it's Paul, and in this video I'm an old man with my Chinese diesel heater, the Gearlasso 8 kilowatt 1224 volt thing, and I want to talk about the two operating modes, AT and MT, which should be automatic temperature control and manual temperature control, but there's a little bit more to it than that. So let's talk briefly about automatic temperature control. Automatic temperature control, AT, uses the thermostat to control the heater, but the heater never switches off. It constantly runs. It just alters the amount of output slightly. It goes from high output to low output when it hits the run temperature, the preset temperature that you've decided to put in it. So if I decide to set it at 22 degrees, at 22 degrees or thereabouts, it will slightly reduce the output, but it won't stop. It will keep running. In MT, or manual temperature control, it does not actually control the room temperature per se at all. All it controls is the output, and actually all it controls is the amount of fuel that the pump pumps into the burner. So in MT, the lowest setting, PO1 or 1 gear on the app, actually is the slowest pump rate, the lowest pump rate, and thus the least output you can get out of it, the minimum output. And gear 10 or 10 gear or P10 on the dial on the control panel is the highest output, and you can incrementally adjust it between the two, but it will run at that constant rate. Whichever you set it at, it will pump at that constant rate until it runs out of fuel, basically. So neither of them are really temperature control per se. There's a bit of input from the thermostat on automatic temperature control, but in both scenarios the heater runs constantly. Automatic temperature, it goes up and down with the thermostat in theory. In manual mode, it just gives you the set output. Okay, so let's have a look at how to change between the two. Okay, so to turn from automatic temperature to manual temperature on the control panel, press and hold the settings button and turn the control knob one click clockwise. And you'll see it's gone to MT on here and it's gone to PO1 on here. I can go up and down through PO1 to P0, not 10, sorry, I was going to say 9 on the dial, back down to 1. And to put it back into automatic temperature, press and hold the setting button again, and again turn the dial clockwise, and it goes back to AT. If I want to do it on the remote control fob, I can press and hold the off button for about 3 seconds and it changes to MT. It's on PO1 again, and I can go up and down on the plus and minus buttons on the control. If I want to turn it back to automatic temperature, AT, press and hold the off button again and it goes back to AT, and now I can put the temperature up and down with the control. On the app, I can switch from AT to MT on this button here, currently in automatic temperature AT. Tap on the A and it goes to manual temperature MT, and it's in gear 1, and on the plus and minus signs up here I can turn it up and down. all three are kind of interchangeable. So where I've changed it into manual on here, with the remote control, I can press and hold the off button and it will go back into AT. And then I can press and hold the setting and the clockwise knob movement and it goes back into manual. And then I can turn it back into automatic on the app. So all three devices interchange quite happily with each other. If it's already running and you want to set it, if I just switch it on the on button on the remote, okay, we're now running and it's on AT. If I press and hold the on button, it changes to MT. Press and hold the on button again, changes back to AT. And the same rules apply right the way across the board. Press and hold settings, one click clockwise and it goes to MT. Press and hold settings, one click clockwise and it goes to AT. And again the same on here. I can go backwards and forwards on the button on the app. So the only difference when the machine is actually on for heating is you use the on button on the remote to go between AT and MT, and when the machine is off, you use the off button on the remote to go between MT and AT. So I'll just switch it off. It's now gone into off mode. Now back into standby, and I'll press the off button to go between MT and AT. Okay, so there you have it. I don't know if that's helped anyone. It took me a while to figure it out. I'm not an expert on these things. I've just spent the last 2 days working on it and scouring the internet for information, and that's what I've come up with. If you know anything different or you know how to operate it differently, then please comment and I'll be glad to edit the video or change the video or make a new video or whatever. Anyway, hope it's helped. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.